Hi guys, welcome back to eCoreAcademy. It's so good to see you all here. If you don't know me, my name is Aastha Kulkarni, and I am the English 1 teacher here at eCoreAcademy. I go over different topics relating to the course of English 1, which many people typically take their freshman year of high school. So today we have another video in the grammar series of this course, and we're going to be going over adjectives versus adverbs. Basically, I'll be going over what an adjective is, what an adverb is, and then the main thing we'll be focusing on is differentiating when to use these two, because they often get confused as both of them are modifying verbs or words. So we're just going to be going over when to use which one and when it's appropriate to. Before I get started, I just want to say, if you guys are liking the content that eCore is creating, it would mean a lot if you'd subscribe to us and show your support by liking this video, commenting down below, and most importantly, sharing with friends, family, or anyone who you may think will benefit from this. So yeah, let's get started. First off, what is an adjective? An adjective is a modifier that provides information about the noun or pronoun that it's describing. So this is important. An adjective usually describes a noun or a pronoun. And that's one of the main differentiating, because adverbs describe a variety of more things, which we will see in the slide about adverbs. But I just wanted to quickly point that out. It answers questions such as what kind, how many, how much, and which one. It's not limited to these questions, but if you use a basic or well-known adjective, it's likely that it uses or it answers one of these questions. And then lastly, it can appear before or after the modified word. This is really important. Again, it depends on how you like to write, what your writing style is. Everyone's different. It also depends on the flow of the sentence, but there's no right or wrong place for placing an adjective in a sentence. It can go before or after the modified word. And below we just have a simple picture. It's just two simple adjectives, short and long. So we're going to be going over 5 examples of different types of adjectives. We have before and after adjectives, proper adjectives, predicate adjectives, indefinite articles / adjectives. Those are interchangeable, but they classify as adjectives. And then the same thing with definite articles and adjectives. So before and after adjectives, it's not really a type, it's just describing, as I mentioned before, the state or the placement of where the adjective goes. It can go before or after the modified word. So these are just 2 examples of that. The first one, I had poached salmon for dinner last night. Poached is describing the salmon, and as you might guess, it's a before adjective because it comes before salmon. The next example is the steak, rare and pink, was not my preference. Rare and pink, those are actually 2 adjectives. They're both describing steak, and it comes after the modified word. So that is why it's an after adjective, or adjectives in this case, because there's multiple adjectives. The next example we have is proper adjectives. Most California restaurants are on the expensive side. If I told you guys to identify the noun in the sentence, many of you might think that it's California, but California is actually the adjective in the sentence because it's describing restaurants. It's describing where the restaurants are. So that is why it's an adjective, and it's proper adjective because it's a place in specific estate. So that's why we capitalize it, and that's why it's categorized as a proper adjective. Next, we have predicate adjectives. It's very simple. The dining table was big. It's in the predicate. Next, we have indefinite articles / adjectives. This one is a little bit tricky to get the grasp of because many people wouldn't think that it classifies as an adjective. But let's just look at the example. After a walk, I always drink a glass of water. So a is the indefinite adjective because it's not referring to a particular walk, but it's not referring to more than one walk, if that makes sense. So it's talking about it's an ambiguous walk, but it's one walk in specific, but we don't know which one. So that's why it's indefinite, and then it's an adjective because it's describing the walk. It could have been the walk, but instead it's a walk. So that's how it's describing the word walk, which is the modified word. And then opposite, we have definite articles and adjectives. So this is, we know which one it is. So in this case, we know it's the eggs from brunch. So that's why it's definite. If we said some eggs, it would be indefinite. But the eggs is describing the words eggs, and then the word the makes it definite because in specific, we know which eggs is the sentence is referring to. Next, let's move on to what an adverb is. Like adjectives, adverbs are modifiers. I think I mentioned that previously, but yes, both words are modifying words. Adverbs usually end in ly, but don't be fooled because there are exceptions. There's exceptions to everything. There's a lot of words that are adverbs that we use on a day-to-day basis, and we might not even know are adverbs. I'll be going over those, so don't worry. But if you see the word ly, you may assume it is an adverb, but you want to be sure because some words that end in ly can be a noun as well. And then some words that don't end in ly can also be an adverb. They modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. This is different from adjectives because adjectives only modify nouns or proper nouns. And then they give information such as when, where, how, to what extent, and what matter, and how much. So it's a little bit more, not in-depth, but more specific than the adjectives list. And then here we just have a couple examples: spontaneously, robotically, jealously, and boldly. So these are a couple examples. We have I think 4 examples. Again, the first one is just about the placement. So the first example, gladly is modifying the verb, which is went. So she gladly went to grandma's house to drop off the cookie. Gladly modifying the verb, which is went. Next example is modifying adjectives. The bowl of oatmeal was extremely bland. The adverb is extremely, and it's modifying the word bland, which is already an adjective. And this is a really great way if you are looking to get a little bit more detail into a sentence. Just use an adjective and an adverb, and it's really good for if you're ever in specific writing imagery in a story or a poem or anything like that. It's really helpful. And then lastly, Serena mixed the sauce too vigorously. To is actually an adverb, and as well as vigorously. So to is describing vigorously, and both are adverbs, hence modifying other adverbs. Then we have modifying prepositions. We left just after the happy hour ended. After is a preposition, and just is describing how close to after they left, or whoever left. Then we have modifying complete sentences. This is great for if you have a whole sentence and you want to add, a little bit more detail to it. You want to eat pork chops for dinner again is already a sentence, but slapping on that surely in front of it really shows the readers that how badly that person wanted to eat pork chops for dinner again. And then side note, many negatives such as not, barely, and never are adverbs. My apologies, barely is spelled wrong there. But these are adverbs, not barely and never are adverbs. And these can interrupt parts of a verb phrase. So as we see in the example, the waiter should not have explained what caviar was to a 5-year-old. Should have explained was the verb phrase, and not was interrupting it by negating that verb phrase. And not is actually an adverb in that situation. So here are some tips for choosing between adjectives and adverbs. First, you need to determine, whether an adjective or adverb is even needed. Sometimes a sentence may need a preposition or a verb or a noun. So you just want to be sure that you're looking for a modifying word. And if you are, then you're already on the right path. Some words can be both adjectives and adverbs, so we need to keep that in mind while going through, when to use one or the other. While most adverbs end in ly, some adjectives do as well. So the examples friendly and curly, they both are adjectives, but they end in ly. Friendly describes, a personality trait. Curly can describe hair. So these aren't adverbs, but they do end in ly. So you want to make sure you understand the meaning of the word before you classify it as an adjective or an adverb. Good and bad are always adjectives. No matter what, they're always an adjective. And then well and badly are adverbs, except in some situations, well may be used as an adjective. So we just want to keep all these rules in mind when we're choosing. Now let's put this to test with these 5 sentences. Basically, in the parentheses, we have the adjective first and then the adverb second. And you basically just want to choose between the two, and then we will check over what you guys got. So pause the video right here, take a couple minutes to answer these questions, and then resume the video when you're done, and I will be going over the correct answers. All right, assuming that you're done, here are the correct answers. The first one is mustard and ketchup together taste bad. Bad is describing the mustard and ketchup, so that is why we're going to be using an adjective. When I realized something was burning, I quickly ran to the kitchen. So there's 2 ways you get to tell this was the right answer. Quickly is it's modifying the word ran, and ran is a verb, which we use for adverbs. So that's why we know it's an adverb. And then also, if English is your first language or even your second language, you might have been able to hear that it doesn't sound right if you use the word quick. Like when I realized something was burning, I quick ran to the kitchen. You can kind of hear that doesn't sound right. So also doing a hearing test is a good way to figure out. One can purchase instant oats at any grocery store. You wouldn't use instantly because instant oats in this case it's a product. It's a product of oats, so you wouldn't be able to use instantly. It would have to be instant because instant is describing the oats, which is a noun, and also the thing together is a product that is sold. The cashier spoke politely to us while we stood in the checkout line. Politely is describing the word spoke, which is a verb, so that is why we're using an adverb. And then lastly, I cooked my first gourmet meal nearly 10 years ago. The correct answer is nearly. So thank you so much for watching this video about adjectives versus adverbs. I hope that you got a little bit more insight on when to use which one, or even just, different examples of adjectives and adverbs that you didn't know about. Whatever it is, I hope you gained something from this video, and if you're looking for more videos, you should totally check out the rest of our YouTube page. We have a bunch of amazing teachers that are creating great content for you guys to help everyone out. So it would mean a lot to us if you could keep supporting. Check out the rest of our YouTube page. Also, we have a website in which we have a bunch of interactive quizzes and notes and things like that. So if you're looking for something a little bit more in depth, you should definitely check out our website. Email eCoreAcademy if you have any inquiries or ideas, and then all of our other socials are in the description box below. So if you ever need to contact us, everything is there. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you back for the next English 1 video. Bye.